had one video go semi-viral, which is also what jump-started my first paycheck. I've got like 2,000 followers, but no one really cares like who I am at this point. I spent maybe $200 on professional lights when I first started making YouTube videos, and I have never used them. Long term, it'd be great to get monetized, I'm sure, right? First paycheck was for... Today, I'm sharing my thoughts on YouTube, my first paycheck, filming, lighting, what apps and programs I use, so stay tuned. A little bit about me. YouTube was something that I had been wanting to do ever since I was in high school. I recently quit my job in corporate sales in December of last year and became a freelancer. I work with small businesses on their marketing efforts. I also love making food and travel content on TikTok and Instagram, so there's a lot else that I do online aside from YouTube. I've technically been on YouTube for 7 years. My first YouTube video I made in college with my friend Natalie. We made a couple videos. The channel kind of was dormant for a couple years after that, and then during COVID was when I decided to really pick it up again and try to be very consistent. And I'm proud to say that for maybe 2 years or so, I was putting out a video on average every week, which is a no small feat because sometimes the videos would take me over 10 hours to edit, which is crazy. Without further ado, first paycheck was for $115.53, which I received in June of 2023. The video that jump-started it all was a video that I posted about Kasama, a restaurant in Chicago. It's the first Filipino restaurant in the world to receive a Michelin star. The video was published in the summer of 2022, and then a year later is when it started to go viral. There's a lot of different reasons why all of a sudden, 11 months later it started picking up, but from the analytics that I've seen, it looks like there was one, I think it was a USA Today video posted about Kasama that then recommended my video afterwards. And because so many people watched that video, they then clicked to mine, and then that kind of signaled to YouTube to start showing that video on other places on YouTube, people's recommended, on their homepage, things like that. And to this day, I still get steady views on that video, which is crazy because that meal was 3 years ago at this point. So with that in mind, I'm gonna walk you back to Kat years and years ago when she was first starting off. I'm sure if you've been thinking of starting a YouTube channel, maybe you're also feeling a little bit just nervous, shy about putting yourself out there, which is very, very valid. It's not natural to sit in my living room and talk to a camera, but I have some advice that helped me a lot, and I gotta give credit where credit is due. Oh, actually, let me grab you something. This book, I think I purchased in high school from Urban Outfitters, and it's changed my life in so many different subtle ways. It's called Show Your Work by Austin Kleon, and it's all about putting your work out there for people to either enjoy, gain knowledge from, resonate with. And it's a reminder every time I'm feeling discouraged or doubtful about just this content creation journey that I'm on. If you feel like you have some value to provide, even if you're not a complete expert on whatever your topic or passion is, it's worth putting out there if it can help someone. I have an unfortunate truth I need to share with you, which is that your first video, in fact, probably your first 5-10 videos are not gonna be that good. No matter how much YouTube you watch, no matter how much prep and work that you do, they're simply not gonna be that good because who is good the first time that they take a hip hop class or try out pottery? Like all of these things, including making videos, is an art in and of itself. The way that you get to a place where you're like really proud of the work that you're putting out is just through execution and consistency. But in order to do that, you need to just start. You can go back and watch my first video. It's objectively not good. I spent probably 10 plus hours editing it. There was a YouTuber that I love called Ali Abdal that put out a bunch of videos about advice about starting a YouTube channel. And one thing that I took so literally from him was he was like, don't even second guess yourself until you've put out, let's find some sort of number. For me, the number was like 100 videos. Don't even worry about what people think until you've put out 100 videos, because no matter what, you're gonna be so much better at this process by the end of the 100 compared to the beginning. At that point, you can further evaluate things like your niche, maybe upgrading your camera, getting a mic, blah, blah, blah. It's about getting in the habit of making the videos, but you need to just start. And I know that is the most common thing, but in my experience, it was going through the process, posting the video, and then, occasionally watching it back and being like, oh, I didn't like the way that I did that transition, or like, oh, that text formatting was weird, or, something like that. You've probably heard of something called the spotlight effect, which I'm sure all of us feel to some extent. It's the idea of you being the center of your life and fixating on like the way that you look or the way that you carry yourself, like the things that you're doing. in reality, no one cares about you as much as you do. And if you think about like other people in your life, like, yeah, sure, you might, judge people on their Instagram, but no one is paying that close of attention as you are. Anyone who's making fun of you, that's actually in a lot of ways a compliment. If you're scared of judgment and putting yourself out there, it's an excuse at the end of the day is what it is. It's not a good enough reason to just not do it. If you want this bad enough, you'll always wonder what could have happened if you hadn't gotten scared of what other people thought. So just execute, just commit to a certain amount of videos and just execute. I think it's also very important to define some sort of value with every video that you're putting out there, whether it's entertainment, whether it's knowledge of some sort. When you're early on enough, like I've got like 2,000 followers, but no one really cares like who I am at this point. You want to lead with some form of value. The sooner that you can grab their attention in your video with something that will benefit them, that they think they need to hear, the more positive reception you're going to get. So try to identify some form of value and keep that in mind as you're filming and editing. A couple of technical pieces of advice. Shorts are doing pretty well for me. As you can see, I haven't put out a YouTube video in like 5 months, but I've been posting shorts consistently, and it's getting really good traction and exposure, which don't go completely in on shorts if you're just starting your YouTube journey, but it is a more digestible, quicker piece of content that you can create and at least just like stick to a rhythm. I would recommend finding some sort of balance because long term, it'd be great to get monetized, I'm sure, right? And in order to do that, you need to hit 1,000 subscribers, but also 4,000 hours of watch time. So shorts can be an effective way to gain new subscribers, and they're pushing this content to people who don't already follow you a lot, which is nice. But because shorts are at most, 1 minute each, it's going to be really hard for you to make up the lost ground if you're only investing in shorts. Second, series seem to be doing pretty well. The idea of people knowing what to expect, whether it's like, hey, this is going to be an 8-part series about like my favorite restaurants, favorite cheap eats in Chicago. It creates a habit for people to continually show up and like have some idea of what to expect. So that's something to keep in mind if you want to take a huge chunk of information and break it up into different pieces. Like that's another way that you could execute it. Title and thumbnail, they do matter a lot because no matter how good your video is, if it's not intriguing enough for me to click on it from my homepage or recommended, you will not get the attention that you're hoping for. So you first gotta entice them with the engaging title and caption. Technical stuff, I use DaVinci Resolve, which is a free software to edit my videos. I edit all of my Instagrams and TikToks on CapCut. Both are great, both not perfect. DaVinci sometimes has glitches, but overall is a really reliable software, especially if you're starting out. Perfection is not the goal at this point. I only film on my iPhone. I started off with an iPhone 11, I believe, and now I'm filming on an iPhone 14. It's great. You don't need a professional camera if you're starting out. Natural lighting is best. I spent maybe $200 on professional lights when I first started making YouTube videos, and I have never used them. It's not the same. Natural lighting is chef's kiss. It's superior in all ways. The free version of Canva is amazing. I highly recommend it. It is dummy proof. It is so helpful. You can create thumbnails there. You can create video graphics on the free version. I only upgraded to Pro last year because of my new career, but I think you can do so much with Canva's free version. There's also a free background remover website that I'll show here. It's not perfect, but it overall works great, and you can use that if you're looking to make your thumbnails a little bit more enticing or visual. Music. You do need to be careful with copyright. There's a couple of different places that I pull audio from. Honestly, YouTube music is solid. There's a lot of different ways that you can filter. There's some great tracks on there. They have some sound effects libraries as well. I have used Epidemic Sound. I think it's great, but it's not necessary, especially if you're starting off. You can also check out websites like Freesound and Bensound. Two other tools that I don't use a lot but are helpful depending on the types of videos that you're looking to create. Voice Notepad, which allows you to dictate. It will write out text for you on your laptop, which is great if you're trying to write a script, and maybe if you're like a audio learner, like it's just easier to just like word vomit and then edit from there. And then Q Prompter if you're looking to read from a script in a video. This is the first video that I've posted in about 5 months, which tells you how things are going. Obviously, I've not been consistent. A lot of things have been changing as I kind of mentioned. I also got married, so I'm a wife now, crazy to think.